Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the first in the month of May of Tip Tuesdays, Build Your Dream Network Tip Tuesdays with the good folks at Penguin Random House and the Company Reads program or initiative, or what do we call it, Neda? But everyone, you need to know who Neda is. Neda is one of the amazing people who I get to work with regularly at Penguin Random House. She's a senior marketing associate. I think in one post on social, Neda, I put you down as a senior marketing manager, so I did get you a raise. Let's see if we can get you the paycheck to go with that.
You're my biggest advocate.
From my, tweet to HR's ears. Anyway, the fabulous Neda Dallal, who I first talk about, relationships and networks and the importance of these things within organizations. Stephanie Bowen, my editor on Build Your Dream Network, moved over to Author Platform, so I got to continue to work with her. And Neda sat right in front and was working with Stephanie before moving over to the Speakers Bureau. And as changes in, personnel over in Speakers Bureau, it's been lovely for me to have that continuity because of knowing Neda. Anyway, hi, Neda.
Hi. It's good to be able to chat with you today and all this month. This is going to be fun.
Don't get sick of me. Do not get sick of me. One of the things I do love about doing these, and I told you this happened on the platform, hello from Kenya. I love people checking in and all the rest of this. Okay, I know what Company Reads is. I know about the Speakers Bureau, Penguin Random House representing authors. For those who don't know what a senior marketing associate at a big publisher does, and in particular, let's talk about Company Reads. Alan wants to know. There's Alan. Tell us.
Yeah, happy to. So Company Reads is an initiative of the Speakers Bureau at Penguin Random House, and we launched it to help organizations connect with dynamic speakers like Kelly and their award-winning books. So we can basically support leaders and teams at every level. So our mission is to help organizations discuss topics that matter productively in order to spark creativity and create change and connect through the power of books. And specifically, we have the Company Reads Book Club, which we do every month, and we spotlight one fantastic title like Build Your Dream Network, and we share interviews with the author and curated resources to start conversations. And this month, of course, Build Your Dream Network is our book of the month. So just very happy to be here with you, Kelly, and talk about all things networking.
Boy, networking sure has been a topic of conversation over the last 15 months as we've been stuck within these squares, and another group of graduates entering a job market, decidedly a different one right now than 15 months ago. A sort of much more vibrant and frothy job market with prospects, but companies who are recruiting, hiring, onboarding new employees, plus as well as keeping an existing, how do you integrate those people, plus existing workforce who might be rather fatigued from this.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's a very real thing. So Zoom fatigue is absolutely real.
Absolutely real. Clearly we have a conversation that's resonating. I'm just, looking here. Hi from India. Thank you for joining us. And Louisiana, Nigeria. I know I did things I love. Vivi, hello in Sweden. So glad you're here. And well, Neda and I are going to set up what we're going to be talking about this month. Gosh, Neda, maybe we'll make this a regular, because I would, hey, Tuesdays with Neda, I could handle that on a regular basis. I know you've got some questions for me, and we're going to talk about what we're going to be covering this month. But I do invite you, if you're watching this live, particularly there on LinkedIn, I see lots of you are there on LinkedIn. What are your networking questions, particularly as you think about networking in the workplace? What are some of the challenges, some of the road bumps, some of the things you'd like help navigating so that we can get you answers, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I'm ready for questions, so bring them on.
Bring them on. Bring them on. Oh, this is fun. Let's just do this. Germany, South Africa, like just absolutely. And
Loving this information.
Good old New York City, where
Yes.
Oh, I love this. Morocco. This is all making me too. Things that we miss. We miss those interactions, both the deep and memorable ones, but also those incidental kind of memories and how interactions with other people stir up that warmth. Or, you know, seeing Morocco. I went to a wedding there before. All right. We'll get back to travel. We'll get to international travel soon.
Yes. But meanwhile, let's talk about networking, I think.
Back to regularly scheduled programming.
So no, I mean, since this is our introductory conversation, I was hoping you could kind of set the scene for us as our resident networking expert. There are a lot of ideas out there and frankly misconceptions about what networking is. So why don't you set the record straight? What is networking and why should organizations care about it?
Well, as you know, putting up with me since 2017 when Build Your Dream Network came out, but the soapbox I've been standing on for some years before that is that we need to rethink and rebrand what networking is, because that old model, thinking it is, you know, walking into a cocktail party, well, it didn't serve us pre-pandemic, and it sure as heck doesn't serve us now.
Yes.
And what we see is that people realizing that they need relationships. Relationships add meaning to our lives. They make us happier. There's a whole lot of social science on this. It is better for our health. But also within an organization, it helps us get our jobs done. Right? For a company, you should care about making those connections because you might get the talent you need. You may retain the talent you want to keep. I remember talking to someone recently who's within a large professional services firm who got a very nice job offer from another professional services firm. But the relationships and really liking the people he works with, well, that's sticky. And that means talent doesn't move. You can also get a better, I would say, allocation of resources within an organization. You can get the transference of knowledge within an organization. Those kinds of things. Another company I had worked with, the way they built relationships, not only internally, but the way they looked at it with their clients meant that they kept that cohesion and that stickiness that made it very hard for anybody to move, which is a competitive advantage.
Sure.
When you think about in the digital age, I mean, one of the examples, the reason I have all of this tagged is, so many people think Build Your Dream Network is a book for individuals and how they, navigate a job market or something. There's a whole lot of networking guidance in here that is for a variety of scenarios. And the tags are because of the stuff that relates to companies and why they should care about networking as well. And one of the, little stories in here, of course, goes back to, digital networking. As you know, Build Your Dream Network has got a lot of how we integrate the digital tools as much as and use them as much as in person. And IBM got on this back in 1997. Yeah, that seems probably like the dark ages of the internet.
Yeah.
Stone age of the internet. And they encourage their employees to blog. If you go on Google and you search for their blog policy, you will find it. It is not very long. And that original blog policy could be summed up as do no harm. And you think about, well, why would IBM be enthusiastic about their employees out there blogging and putting information in the public sphere?
Right.
Well, at the time, they had probably around 400,000 employees. Well, now you've got 400,000 business development ambassadors for IBM. Now you've got 400,000 recruiting, ambassadors for IBM. Now, perhaps, someone doesn't know what someone at IBM is doing within the company, but you might find it because of a public blog. And now you're like, oh, wow, I'm at IBM too. We should. So in terms of creating opportunities, IBM was sort of head of the game at that time and being very enlightened about, let's use these tools because it is to our advantage. And that's, blogging for me, as you know, is part of networking. How and where all the places we touch and engage with other people.
Great. Yeah, so what I'm hearing is basically like networking is not an individual effort, or it can be, but that's not the only way that it can be successful. When it's a group effort and when everybody is contributing to this pool of networking and creating these connections, it can lead to some really great and successful things.
Yeah, really great things. Well, no, if we keep looking at networking as there is individual effort, but it's within a community. Because if you keep it as networking in that notion of what I need, the complete disregard for everyone around you.
Yeah.
That's what gives networking a bad name.
Right.
Or that is what gives that colleague who's always in it for themselves, the person who's the non-team player, we'll use every little air quote, that's where people get that reputation within an organization rather than thinking, right, in order for me to be successful, I need to help other people and the organization to be successful. And if I can get that balance right, I can get what I need by giving other people what they need.
Love it. Well, so you kind of addressed this already, but I think a lot of people feel that networking is like stressful and confusing. And this is everyone from young professionals to like seasoned veterans, I think, in my opinion. So, and I'm sure you've got plenty of experience with that. So, I mean, why do you think that is? And how can working people unlearn that mindset that networking is difficult?
I think you need to realize everyone has a fear of rejection.
Yeah.
Even if you have that steely armor because you've been at the company a long time or you've got a big title, you have a fear of rejection and there is an awkwardness. So I think the more we can prepare and understand why we're going into a conversation, or the more we can understand that everybody else is scared too.
Yeah.
Therefore, let's kind of let down some of that facade. I remember when I was manager of professional development for a global law firm, and I would do one of my jobs was planning the onboarding every year for all the new associates, including lateral hires within North America. And they would come to New York for a period of time. And there was an element that there needed to be the substantive content they needed, but there needed to be this social element so that while they were face to face, you could create the glue that would really enhance the email communications and the partnerships and the collaborations going forward. And there would always be a reception with the partners. And one of the things I needed to always schedule into my day when those receptions were going on was sort of a 10 minutes where I was sort of the networking dominatrix through the law firm, ordering every single senior partner upstairs to the reception. And I remember some of them would literally throw tantrums like 3-year-olds, like, what am I going to say to them, Kelly? I don't want to do this. And I was like, really? And so I would say to the incoming attorneys, they're just as afraid as you are.
Right.
So, Google, go on the firm intranet, look up a few profiles, find a few questions to talk to. If there's a particular partner you want to talk to, I said, launch the conversation by saying who you are, what school you went to. Don't think they're going to remember you. So yeah, I would just remember the tears and the tantrums of senior partners not wanting to attend a reception because, they were scared of all those new people.
That's a great story. You're going to dine out on that one forever, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting to hear. Something that you and I have discussed quite a bit recently is the idea of activity-based employee learning, especially like in this current environment that we're in, where we're all working from home, or many of us are working from home, and soon we're going to be hybrid pretty soon. So isolation is a major issue right now for teams and employees. So I'm just curious, like what activity-based learning is in your opinion, and how can it help with our current situation?
Yeah, I think it's really important that we create, kind of tools for teamwork, but not artificially structured ones. What I've seen a lot in the past year, Neda, is people have just taken like a curriculum, like I described as, the onboarding of new associates in a professional services firm. And they've just taken the content and put it online. So I hear about these new employees having to spend, no lie, 7 or 8 hours isolated.
Wow.
You know, and no one is sort of imagining, like, maybe they need to stretch their legs, maybe they need to go to the bathroom, maybe some activity-based learning that requires them to turn off their computer for a while and do an exercise and then come back. So some activity-based learning could be on their own. Others could be in groups, and not, and this is going to reflect my own bias. You know, the activity-based learning where you get something sprung on you, that you know, a scavenger hunt I could go for, and some people have done those on Zoom. But activity-based learning where they like, okay, you're going to break into groups and role play. I can tell you those are, yeah, exactly, your face, my face. We would suck at poker at those, at those kind of role play. Those are the kinds of things where I want to pretend my internet connection doesn't work. Because, but I would say that if we were sitting at a round table, you know, or a, you know, theater style classroom room in that kind of learning situation, and someone sprung that on us, that I would feel the same way, because it feels artificial, and it's not comfortable. And this is why I think things where we can say to people, here's something you can do and digest and then engage with others, or you can do your project and then you can look at how somebody else handled it and give each other feedback before we all come back as a group and discuss it generally. Or, you know, like, you know, reading guides, you know, or other kinds of things, like things that you get a different perspective, and you can share your perspective, and there's a structure for group interaction, as well as ensuring every voice is heard. That can also happen in a group session. The hey, who wants to do the role play? You know, every extrovert who didn't get to make it on Broadway leaps up to do this, and you're like, okay. Or they, you know, hey, let's pick someone. I had the Socratic method in law school, so that, you know, selecting people randomly has been beaten out of me because of law school. Yeah. So horrifying waiting to be picked, right? So I think you know, providing a structure and providing people comfort, because again, in those activity-based learning situations, people can feel really vulnerable. Yeah. And that could, you know, kind of bring up shame, feelings of shame or awkwardness, and that kind of magnifies and spirals. And so rather structuring things so people engage around something that, you know, can help their careers and help their colleagues and help their company, you know, hey, I'm all for it. Yeah.
One thing that I love that you say all the time is that, like, the core aspect of networking that we should all be remembering is that it should be genuine and not, you know, forced or artificial. And I think this fits right in with that. So I definitely have taken that to heart, and I think many people will as well after this conversation.
Or if they don't get it today, they'll be getting it from us, you know, over and throughout the month of May. And you know, you and I have talked about this, so everyone knows some of the things we're going to be talking about with respect to networking this month. Network shrinkage, because we've all experienced it. Some genders to a greater degree than the other gender, but, you know, how can we create those incidental, and how can we expand our networks after this time where our close personal network has deepened and been stronger, but a very vital career network in particular, that acquaintance network, has drastically been reduced for all of us. How can we facilitate networking when we are, you know, we have screens, and this is going to be a critical part of work going forward, as people can work from home. There's location independent work. And companies have realized that, you know, they can retain employees by having much more of that flexibility, where in the past they may have been hesitant to do those things. And then onboarding, because, you know, you're still going to have that remote onboarding for a while, and maybe for some people it's going to be a permanent aspect of that. And that needs to be more than getting, a computer and a lot of HR documents in a box. So how can we do that? Because you're hiring because you have a need. And the faster you can get that new employee up to speed and integrated within a team, so the team isn't like, oh my God, we wanted a new person, but this isn't working. What part of that is the integration, and how can we, with networks, how can we facilitate that? And how can we facilitate the mentoring, the advising, the feedback loops, which, as you know, is all part of networking.
Yes. And I think all of these are very hot topics right now. So I'm excited to dig into them during this month of May.
So am I. And I was just looking at this. We've got, exactly. The great question from Paul, and we will look at all of these. And Lyndon, who I know, who's up in Toronto, networking in the context of community and the community building. And I think that applies into mentoring programs and affinity groups within companies as well as others. So yes, and I love this from Paul. Yes, onboarding. Yes, yes, that is. It's a big one. So we will be here, Neda and I, every Tuesday throughout the month of May, and then I might twist her arm to see if we can do more. Not that Neda doesn't have enough on her desk and a whole bunch of other fabulous authors, but
For you, I would do anything, Kelly.
This greedy author wants her attention. And hey, if we've got more issues that we can't cover. So anyway, for everyone who's checked in, I see from India and Peru and all sorts of Toronto, as I noted, because I know people's names. This has been amazing. Thank you for joining with us for this first Build Your Dream Network being highlighted by the fabulous folks at Company Reads, which is an amazing opportunity to bring that learning-based team building exercise within your company. Where can people find Company Reads if they want to know more information, Neda?
Yeah, you can find us at companyreads.com. That's where all our information is, but we're also on social media on Twitter at Company Reads and on LinkedIn. If you just search for Company Reads, you should find us there. So very excited. And we also host our book club discussions on LinkedIn as well. So got lots of discussion questions prepared for the month of May for Build Your Dream Network, and it's going to be a good time. So join us there.
Oh, that's right. So yes, I remember you had put together that question guide. Is that a downloadable PDF or something folks can get?
It is. Yeah, they can find that on the website. It's a discussion guide all about Build Your Dream Network. And we will eventually, in a couple days, we will probably have a sample chapter of the book available for download too. So check out our website and stay tuned.
Yes. Well, I'll make sure that I put that with the recording of this, which is on LinkedIn, YouTube, as well as Twitter, and we'll make sure people get access to those things. So exciting with a reading guide, and as soon as there's that sample chapter, I'll be shouting that one from the hills. But then again, why haven't you read Build Your Dream Network already? Get on it, right?
People are slacking.
If our conversation hasn't convinced you to buy it and read it, well, get that sample chapter and really get reading. Neda, pleasure as always to see you. Thank you to everybody who has joined us today. We'll see you next Tuesday, same time, 10:30 a.m., live streaming.
Bye.
Bye.